Good morning, students. Today is Tuesday, April the 7th. This is the Divine Mercy lesson. It'll post today and it'll be due on Tuesday, April the 12th. Normally during Holy Week, we would have a Jesus talk about Divine Mercy and about the novena that's about to start on Good Friday. And I would invite you to pray with me. We're going to do some of those things in this virtual lesson. I'll ask you, this will be a real assignment because I have no way of, forcing you to look at this other than make it some kind of assignment. I hope to make it short and different, and at least it's not physics. So, perhaps this is the day that you love. If not, we'll be right back to normal physics again soon. Anyhow, hi, this is the classroom view of this assignment. It's not finished yet. I'll finish it here shortly. I'm sharing with you an image of the Divine Mercy I just took from my house. A lesson that we're going to walk through together with some more information you can read. This is a PDF of the entire diary. It's a 400-page book here. There's a PDF of it online if you like. There's some instructions for praying the chaplet and praying the novena. And then there's going to be two forms here eventually. One will be the required form to just prove you were here with me, and the other will be an optional extra credit form that will be how you tell me if you prayed the novena with me. Okay, here, let me show you this document that has sort of a lesson I've prepared for you. Hopefully you can see me over here and a lesson over here. I wanted to tell you I didn't expect to be devoted to this Divine Mercy chaplet or to the Saint Faustina. I was gifted this image at my wedding by one of my friends whom I invited, and I didn't know anything about it. Wife and I said, "Oh, that's called the Divine Mercy image." That's about all we knew. Later, when I was working in Pontiac, about 2008, 2009, 2010, I heard a podcast about this Divine Mercy image and about some of the miracles that were attributed to it. And so I bought this book and I started reading this book. And my first time through this book, I thought it was two things. One, it was super long, and I'm pretty sure I spaced out and didn't catch most of it. The other thing that was fascinating to me was like every now and then there's just huge bold words that are like, Jesus appeared to me and said this. And I felt like I had been handed another piece of the Gospels that nobody ever talked about. Like, here's a whole page where Jesus is talking in bold. And I thought, wow, there are words of Jesus out there I never read before. So that's how I started loving this book. I read this book once back in 2016, 12. I don't remember, 2012. And then I started reading it again. Anyhow, so Divine Mercy is a devotion to Jesus, especially in this picture. He appeared to Faustina looking like this and asked for her to be the secretary of his Divine Mercy to write down these things. That's why this book came to be. It was her diary. He asked that this image would be painted and venerated, and he asked that we'd rename the Sunday after Easter as Divine Mercy Sunday. Surely you've heard of that. It is Divine Mercy is to refer to God's mercy towards all people, especially towards us who are sinners. Here's some information about St. Faustina. You might be surprised to hear that she died less than 100 years ago. She was canonized in 2000 by JP2. She is most famous for this work on Divine Mercy. I have some excerpts from her diary here just to be like, can you give me some examples of things that she said? Those are down here in the bottom. These are just snips from that PDF I shared with you. Here's so it's mostly a diary. She just writes, in the evening when I was in my cell, I saw Jesus who was clothed in this white garment, just like the picture. And Jesus says to her, paint an image according to what you see here, with the signature, Jesus, I trust in you. And so on and so on. I think this part is interesting. So Faustina tells it to her confessor that this is what, Jesus asked of me. And the confessor says, well, this is only talking about your soul. Certainly paint, God's image in your soul. And then she came out of the confessional and Jesus talked to her again. No, he got it wrong. Really, I want this image to be painted with a brush and blessed on the first Sunday after Easter. Anyhow, so there's some excerpts. The Divine Mercy Chaplet is maybe the most famous piece of her work. It is a prayer that Jesus often asked Faustina to pray. Is an intercessory prayer is for mercy for sinners. It's especially fruitful for persons at the hour of their death. We would talk about how to pray it briefly, and then we'll pray it together in a moment. Or maybe in a separate video, we'll pray it together. Here, let's see if I can find you an excerpt about it. Here are the instructions for the chaplet, straight out of this book here. Jesus asks her to pray this every time she enters the chapel, and that this prayer will appease the wrath of God, who, justice is owed us for our sins. And so this is a prayer to entreat God's mercy. Oh, my computer is dying. Anyhow, I wanted to share that with you. Let's go to this link about instructions, just in case you've never heard of this Divine Mercy Chaplet. Hello, here are some instructions for praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet. First of all, it follows along on the rosary. So on the crucifix, you will make the sign of the cross, and you will pray this optional opening prayer. And then you repeat 3 times. I usually do that on these 3 beads that come right after the crucifix. You repeat this opening prayer, O blood and water. Then it has an Our Father and a Hail Mary and the Apostles' Creed. And then this is the major sections of the chaplet. On the Our Father beads, you pray this Eternal Father prayer. And on the Hail Mary beads, you pray 10 times for the sake of his sorrowful passion. And you do that all the way around until you've done, 5 decades, kind of like a rosary. And at the end, it concludes with this: Holy God, Holy Mighty One, Holy Immortal One, have mercy on us and on the whole world, 3 times. And there's an optional closing prayer. That is how you pray a chaplet of Divine Mercy. It is usually about 5 minutes long, and it's definitely a intercessory prayer for souls, either faithfully departed or sinners, or for mercy in any way. Now, Jesus asked her especially to make a novena out of this prayer that starts on Good Friday and ends on Easter Saturday, the day before the Divine Mercy Sunday. And each day you would pray the chaplet for a different intention. Here are the intentions listed out. Day 1 is Good Friday and is for all mankind. And day 5 is for separated brethren, so like Christians who are not Catholics. And like day 7 is for souls who venerate Jesus' mercy, and so on. If you would like to pray this with me for some extra credit, I will do my best to post a chaplet video each day, even during this Easter little vacation we have. Anyhow, thank you for reading about this. Please join me in praying in the next video, and then once each day. Thanks.